Throughout the last weeks, I've seen that the cost of living too efficient, of living too like over optimized is quite a big one. Because whenever you just, try to arrange things anew and find something you think you're like getting things out of, you'll first have to bring it into a test mode, uh, in which you'll actually have to understand for yourself if that's even a beneficial thing to do. So I was testing around with quite some things in the last few weeks, as I had some other struggles as well, like being sleep deprived so many times because I just couldn't handle certain aspects and certain improvements I tried to adapt on myself in a balanced way. I always overstrained myself in this progression, in finding something better to do, in trying to get ahead of myself and be more efficient, more productive. And within all this doing, within all this experimenting around, I took away the ease of just living like you would do when you don't overthink it all the time. And that that thing was got quite missed out because everything was pretty calculated. Everything was had its place. Every little thing, from food to sleep, from this to that, and I don't want to change or miss out on that completely, but I'll certainly try to find a more natural approach to not get lost in that so hard, and like because I don't want to take hits for something I do for myself in the best way. I'm not uh, trying to just, yeah, live on and do certain stuff and like go go out every weekend and do drugs and other stuff. These times are over. I'm not doing actively or passively harming things to myself no more, seemingly. But when you or myself try to really get deep down onto this self improvement and self optimization kind of thing, I started to see that there's a lot of harm going on once you lose control of what you are trying to improve on yourself. And it always comes with the stack of things you do, with the amount of adaptations you're trying to make and withstand, because the testing of these specific newer arrangements may bring up some time in which you will have to see if it's working out. Not everything comes from today to tomorrow, so you are sometimes stuck with things that need some more time. And that is a very dangerous thing when you start to see that things are not getting better but worse with how you're living it. And being in a position where I try so hard to see through all these little things I'm doing throughout my day to evaluate if it's the best approach or not. You just, yeah, as already said, you miss out on what life's actual fulfillment can bring without the predetermined like state of mind you come up with. And that is like the moment where you just have to let go of rationalization and just be in the moment, because when I'm always rationalizing on what I'm doing and always trying to find a better approach, a better solution, I certainly will have to pay for the changes I'm making on my own, even though they don't have to turn out negative in the first place. They can just be a positive thing, and you tick them off and see, yeah, okay, it's great. I've seen something new, I realized something, and now I'm adapting it in my life, and that's awesome. But as life doesn't tell you all the time right away what you're doing wrong, you gotta find out, or like find the needle in the haystack way in a way bigger haystack, because you certainly just did so many adjustments about your life and how you're operating, so that it's getting even harder with all these new adaptations you made to find the needle, to realize what you really have to change about yourself and the way of living. So I've certainly come to that point where I was thrown at this haystack and had to find this needle, because I needed it. I have been so desperately searching for it, as things just didn't turn out to the better. Things were getting worse and worse. I had worse sleep every night, even though I've did so many things to myself and tried so many adjustments and improvements and supplements and routines. And the list goes on and on and on. And I just saw that the fundamental things in life, when they are not working out as they should be, everything doesn't make any sense no more. When you don't get sleep, when you don't get hungry, when you don't get thirsty, when you don't feel these things, when you don't have any sensations for just being alive, then there is no purpose. And certainly sleep is a big factor of how good we are feeling. So not getting good sleep quite impacted me very hard. And the thing is that I'm talking about that at the moment. Like I stumbled upon these things months and months back then, but they were just there yesterday. I slept bad yesterday as well, and the day before, and many other days before. And others would say, okay, yeah, but you still get 7 hours of sleep. Why are you feeling bad? Why don't you feel energized? I often only sleep like 5 hours and still feel good. Yeah, but we are not all working the same. For the first, and for the second, you gotta define for yourself how you're feeling energized. And I know how energized I can feel and what my body is giving me back when I'm getting like 8 to 8.5 hours of sleep. And I see what I'm getting from myself when I don't sleep for that long. And that's definitely not worth it to miss out on all these actual improvements I get from such a fundamental thing, which is sleep. So I don't want to miss out on that no more. And I'll certainly will not ever try to over optimize on things that might get in conflict with my fundamentals. When my fundamentals are good, I can make these small adjustments in life and I can try to find out if it's working out, but in little steps, not taking 10 different supplements, not trying to uh, im- implement some new kind of routines. Small steps and living with the things I already got to understand, I got to realize about myself and my needs, and always trying to prioritize fundamentals and the needs I have for a fulfilling life. Because when I don't fulfill these two things, why shall I even start to make improvements then in the first place? All these improvements won't work out. And you see people talk about this, you see people talk about that, and what this might do, and supplements that might help. Yeah, but what about the fundamentals? Have you got them right already? No, I didn't have them right, and I was still trying to improve on things because I was like blinded. I was blinded because I thought, yeah, okay, these are only temporary things. They'll arrange themselves. I had good sleep years back then as well. Things are going to get better, and I'll just try something new, and it will certainly help me because science says it, studies say it. Oh, this is good, that is good. And I'm not saying that I'm not taking any supplement from this day. I'm still taking most of them. I think all of them. I didn't stop using one of these supplements. Maybe I've gone down a bit with some enhancers for like my mental capabilities and focus, but all the others, they're still great. But I've seen how you can overstrain it. And that's not worth it. When you actually pay with your fundamentals, which are carrying all of your happiness, all of your like actual energies, then it's never worth it. So I'll never pay with these no more. And we'll try to get these small steps done first, these testing phases. And maybe I don't I will not need so much improvement no more in the future. Because what is an improvement in the first place? What is the initial thought of getting something done better? It's it's somehow related to a lack of something. And when I'm lacking something, I don't just want to fill it up with something else because I don't know the origin of why I'm lacking that. So why try to fill it up with something else only to make you think that you've solved the problem? I don't think that that is the right equation for that. Because when there's something lacking in you, and that then the origin has to be the objective. The origin has to be the focus and the area you're trying to look through and trying to get ahead of. So quite loud here. I'm sorry, next to the street, but I just like that environment. I was trying to arrange a new place for these videos, so today came here. Yeah, this over optimization isn't worth it. And it didn't stop quite at the point where I was like in conflict with these different supplements and struggled with getting enough sleep. It also like flooded the area of current dependencies. What I mean by that is I still have to work part time to afford my life as there's no like stable income there yet with what I'm doing. So I'm approaching this job for a few hours a day, and I mostly start at like 10 or 9. And when I stop mostly 4 to 5 hours later, and I go to the gym like every day or go for a run, then I want to calculate this time onto that as well. And but I still want to have like productive times. And what concluded out of this like thought process, yeah, having to work this time won't change. The gym, fitting it in front of would stress me out in the morning, brings everything like, yeah, into conflict with each other. How am I arranging food and so on and so on. So I had to put it afterwards. Gym after work, then getting home, and when I'm getting home, it's all already like 3 or 4, and at that time, I can. That is like the first time of the day when I'm not standing up at 5 a.m. and work start, where I can actually start working on my stuff. So I was thinking about, okay, how was I living the last few months? Better said, the last year. Last year, or even a bit longer, I started to go to sleep 90% of the time at 9 p.m. Because I said myself, okay, I don't need to, I don't go out, I don't do things, I on weekends I'm mostly working on my own stuff. So yeah, why should I be awake for longer? I go to sleep early. I like to wake up when it's dark, when it's quiet, and start getting to work on my own things. But when I came back to this place here, because back then I was in Vienna, I started to see, and when I got that new job here, I started to see that I'll have to implement something or change something to get most of out of my day. And when that thought kicked in, I tried to arrange it like so that I'm able to have enough work time in the afternoon but still be on my highest rate of productivity. So when you're having a part-time job, want to go to the gym and try to work on your own stuff. And these two things, job and gym, comes in the first like third of your day, and only then you're able to start working on your stuff. Oh man, then I really just wanted to enhance myself even more because I was already more than one third throughout my day and have drained quite some energies for sure. Gym, uh, job, whatever. So what my thought then was, why not just uh, arrange the time where I go to sleep back a little bit so I can drink a coffee or drink mate when I come home after the gym. So I started that and sometimes drank a mate at 4 p.m. And as we know, drinking caffeine many little hours before you go to sleep can certainly impact your sleep. Some people don't feel any impact. I'm very happy for you that you can sleep, but I cannot sleep when I don't have like 8, 10 hours of no caffeine in my body before sleep. So I had to get this time also in like packed into it, and then things started to like really mix themselves up because my my rhythm doesn't want me to go to sleep at 1 a.m. and wake up at 9 a.m. I just cannot sleep in the morning when it's getting bright out there. I'll soon have to wake up. I've seen that in the last few weeks, so I'm not trying to arrange these things back no more. Because I got to see that I certainly slept quite bad. And as mentioned, slept bad just yesterday. So there's no more optimization in that regard for me as well. So, what are my takeaways from this? What I take away from these times of just like trying to over optimize life are I can't just think that all that is good seemingly for a human being and might enhance his capabilities of living are going to work out on oneself. There's time needed to understand it. There's a physical adaptation needed, a mental adaptation needed, and that comes with much testing and sort of feeling your way into it. And yeah, just like with that, you can adapt it to all the other areas of life. Trying to change something, arrange something new, finding a new routine, trying new things out. It can all be good, yeah, and as long as you develop in it, why not trying it? But being drained from doing things you thought that they might be good for you isn't like the thing you should aim for. And I only got to see that by living it, by actually feeling how hard life is when I'm not getting enough sleep. So I don't recommend getting too little sleep and also too much caffeine. That's no good combination. Definitely not. Losing losing on capacities, you don't lose. So yeah, quite a big thing for my life as well. Quite a quite big impacts are being made and are getting made at the moment. Realizations have to get adapted, have to sink in, have to work their way through because they're not being lived yet when not being reminded in yourself. When I'm not reminding myself about the realizations I already made, the practical part is likely to be blurred away and yeah, will maybe like never come up again. So realizations are there to hold on to because they are great and they have immense power to provide what you actually need. So when there's a voice telling you something about yourself and how you're feeling, oh, start talking to it. It's great. It can be great. Don't suppress it. I suppressed it for such a long time, in times where I didn't feel well. And you cannot always like think that realization comes with good things. There's sometimes also times where you're getting into like a loop of realizing something you're actually trying to like consciously do on yourself without having a good meaning for yourself. So it's, you can call it like self-sabotaging, as realizations may be made already. Your consciousness might be ready for for understanding yourself better, and you are able to get into the next step of implementation. But old patterns and emotional structures and traumas, or anything that's playing with your mind, can also blast off realizations and let you stay still. So I'm very happy that I got to move out of a state where I'm sabotaging myself and manipulating my thoughts just to hit myself with them, because wanted to feel I wanted to feel more about what is actually deep down there. And only through this harshness of punching my way through life, I think I started to try enhancing it and trying to find a better way of living. But this also has to come within the scale, not just being fully onto that side or not at all. It has to be in balance, as I've seen, because optimization also has quite negative things when overstrained. So yeah, that was like today's street view or street sounds. I hope the mic does its job and cancels some noise out. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you around.